Hello ladies and gentle ladies, welcome back to another railroad development stream. Hello Alex, welcome to the stream. Hello Lone Wolf, welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be working back in on railroad, of course, as usual. And we're going to be working on run configuration. So this is going to be a very big step in railroad. This is something we need. I don't really need to say that, but yes, this is one of the most important things we're actually going to be working on railroad, and that's going to be today. Now I've actually already done a lot of the work, which I'll show you in a second. Just need to make sure everything is turned off. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I don't know why my camera isn't on. Hello? Camera? Where is my camera? It says it's on, but it is not on. Oh, it turned on for a second. Hey! Okay, why am I in the top left? I don't want to be. Do I want to be in the top left? No. I don't particularly want to be in the top left. Let's go down there. Okay. I don't know what happened there. I don't know why it did that. But yeah, we're going to be working on run configurations today. I probably shouldn't have left it in the state it's in right now when starting the stream. I probably should have gone back a little bit, because we're not going to be able to run anything for a while, because I'm a little bit deep in errors at the moment. Yes, technically we could probably find a way to get around that, but yeah, I've already done a lot of the run configuration. As you can see, basically all of this is what I've done so far, and right now I'm just working on getting that UI. So basically what I'm working on right now is this UI that you see here when you go ahead and edit a run configuration. So it's just a matter of getting this to be as dynamic as is feasibly possible. It's going to mean developing a bunch of custom components. So a component for, environment variables. I don't know how we're going to do that one, but like a component for selecting the JDK, that's going to have to be there. Yeah, we'll have to do class path as well, but right now we don't. We kind of have that, kind of don't. Hello Wide, welcome. It is not super rare. It is a Saturday. And hello Rat as well. Welcome to the stream. Hello Squidgical. I was kind of expecting it to be like squid logical, but I guess that doesn't make any sense now that I think of it. But hello squid. My God, why am I failing to say? It's because there's a D next to a G. It's very weird. Squidgical. Yeah, I think that's correct. Welcome to the stream. And hello Lone Wolf, welcome. I actually maybe have already said welcome to you. I don't know. But yes, hello everybody. So yeah, as I say, we're going to be working on run configurations. And we have a bunch of UI that we need to do today. And in theory, once the UI is done, it should all work. But obviously, I haven't been able to test anything without any UI. So we're going to find out together whether or not that works today. But as you can see here, first of all, we need to create a bunch of new things. So a JDK chooser, that actually in reality is just going to be a combo box. So that should be quite simple. I can just do jdk.class, and then we just have to set a bunch of the things. So for example, the default value will be like that. Then we've got to do the default items as well. So That should just be... I literally wrote like half of the JDK system, and I don't remember how you get the JDKs. It's JDK manager dot get available JDKs. There you go. Yes, so we can make that a method reference as well. Lone Wolf, I guess I should make you a moderator, huh? Technically, because you are a moderator on the Discord. So there you go. I didn't know there was multiple different roles of moderators. You can have two different types of moderators apparently. A managing moderator and a standard moderator. A managing moderator can manage blocked words and chat modes. Huh. I think that's a new thing. I don't remember ever seeing that before. That's interesting, I guess. So yeah, this should be reasonably simple to do, I believe. But the env variables and then the VM options are going to be a bit of a pain. And then I'm going to have to come back to this one as well for the task, because we're going to have to do a bunch of stuff. Because, for example, in IntelliJ, when you try to input a task, it comes up with basically all of these like default task options. You can also do, like, for example, run, and then you can do dash dash, like, you know, what is it? Well, any of these really. So I don't know how the hell we're going to do that, to be honest. I assume there's a way. I just don't know exactly how that works. I assume this isn't an IntelliJ thing. I assume this is just a Gradle thing that lets you do this, I imagine. But we'll come back to that anyways. That's not too important. Right now, it's just more important getting everything there, and then later on we can go ahead and fix those things. Gradle project as well. That's going to be a little more complex as well, because right now you just select between the different projects in this project, but you can't do that. So we just have to have that be a directory chooser, but that's fine. So yeah, env variables, if we look at those, these are like basically thing is equal other thing, and then you have to do a semicolon, and then you can do foo equals bar semicolon, and then you can also press this $, and it lets you bring up different things. I probably shouldn't show that because I feel like there's probably things in there I can't show. I don't know, actually, maybe there isn't. Yeah, there actually is if I scroll down. So it's a good job I didn't scroll down, because there are other things in there I can't show you. But yeah, that basically brings up your actual environment variables. I can show you these ones, that's fine. Which I guess you could choose to include those or not include them. Maybe. I'm not too worried about things like that right now. That's not too big of a deal. I guess like maybe adding them like this would be nice, but that's a quality of life thing. Just having this be a text field for now is perfectly fine. So in reality, actually, that is just a text field, right? So we can just make this a text field. And then text will be that, which is this.environment variables. Yeah, so that's just a map of a string to a string. So I need to convert that somehow into an actual string. The best way to do that is probably go in string utils and just make a method in there. Hello, Agent Cryo. Welcome to the stream. Let's go ahead and make a method for this. So a public static string, and then environment variables to string, and the Copilot kind of got it. It just needs to not be \n. It needs to be semicolon. But apart from that, Copilot was correct in that. The other thing, I personally wouldn't use a var here. I mean, you probably, like, you could use a var there. I just wouldn't personally do that, because it's not extremely clear what that is, but this is fine. So entry.getKey, append equals entry.getValue, followed by a semicolon. That's correct, so everything else is fine. I also wouldn't call this string builder, so... Oh, I wouldn't call it SB, I mean. Yeah. And we can just write a quick Java doc for this. Nice, thank you, Copilot. And then we can just do string utils dot environment variables to string. I will just do a quick thing here and just say that if mvars is equal null or empty, then just do that. Which just means that I can say this is technically nullable. Which just cleans that up a little bit, and it actually means that I can just do that, which is nice. Just a little bit of simplifying going on. Then prompt text, yeah, that's fine. Validator, we will need to do this, so yeah. So this isn't correct, basically. Yeah, so what validator has to return is it has to return a validation result. So this is incorrect. What we can do is we can say, instead of having an exception thrown, because there's no point throwing an exception, let's just say if not is valid environment variables, return validation result dot error, boom, and then just return validation result dot OK, like that. And we can turn that into a ternary as well. Oops, not the one I meant to click. I meant to click the one below it. There we go. And yes, that can even be a lambda expression. Isn't that nice? There you go. Let's just create this as well. And Copilot, once again, basically going to do the work for us. So if it's blank, return true. Let's say it's nullable. So if text is equal null, or text is blank, return true. Should null be valid? I would technically actually say no. So let's do that then. Or, well, I guess it can be null, but if it's null, we'll say it's not valid. So if text is equal null, then return false. We'll say null is not valid. And then do that. Let's just see what this is doing. So it splits it by semicolons each basically key value in the semicolons. If it's blank, it skips it, and then it splits it on equals. Yeah, limits it by 2, so it only gets a key and a value, and then yeah. This is probably not going to work though, because you could have an equals in a string, right? Is the only issue. Because you could have, say, for example, key is equal some value equals beans. I don't know. But you could do that, right? And I think then that would be valid, I believe. I think you can do that if it's in a string. I believe this would be completely valid. Maybe. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it is. So for now, we'll not worry about it, but I'm going to put a to-do in here, and we'll come back to this. Yeah, basically that. Copilot even knows, actually. I hate when my code hasn't worked for weeks, and I almost rewrote the entire thing for it to just not work. Yeah, that is pain. I mean, honestly, I'm really hoping these run configurations work. Like, I have wrote so much of this, I haven't been able to test any of it, so I'm really hoping it works, to be honest. But we're hopefully going to find out today, if all goes well. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So we will see. Okay, so error. Yeah. Okay. Then VM options, I think. Look for VM options. Here we go. I think that's basically the same. I mean the same as in it's just a text field. It's not. I mean, you can put things in here because IntelliJ basically has all of these macros that you could put in there. For now, I don't really care about doing that, but maybe in the future we will. That'll be an additional thing that we choose to do. But right now, there is no. What is the password? Oh, it doesn't actually show a password. It's just right. Yeah. Interesting stuff. Something like that might be cool in the future, but right now, not that important. So for now, this is just a text field then, basically. And we'll worry about everything else later. So this is a text field. Okay, and then we need to do the text. Now, this is a string array to string. Yeah, I mean, the only thing about these is you could have it in multiple different ways, but I think that's fine. Yeah, we should definitely make that method. I think that would be a nice method to have. And string, this will be what do you call it? The delimiter? I probably haven't spelled that right, have I? The delimiter. There you go. Okay. Hello, so you've been welcome to the stream. I should also write documentation for that, I suppose. Yeah. I'm trying to get into the habit of writing documentation for things a little bit more often. Because I tend to not do that. Validating them will be kind of hard. I guess the thing with VM options is, to some extent, there's only a certain number of them, right? I guess in theory you could have custom ones. If it's like a custom like JDK or something. But if I just do like beans, for example, IntelliJ doesn't tell me that's wrong. What if I just do like that? It doesn't even tell me that's wrong. So IntelliJ actually obviously doesn't validate this whatsoever, I guess, which is interesting. So I could literally just type whatever the hell I want in it. And, like, it's not going to validate it. Yeah, it doesn't validate it. I guess that means the question is, do we want to validate this? I mean, we could probably do like some basic validation, maybe. Like, I feel like we could at least just go ahead and check that each basically argument starts with a dash, right? Because you can only do like dash something, or, you know, dash dash something, right? So, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. How are we going to validate that, though? Because once again, we're going to fall into that same issue of dashes being inside strings, right? So I think let's basically just do what this one does, right? And just say valid string array string. Well, yeah, I mean, we could do that, but that's always going to be true, right? Is the only thing. Like, there actually isn't really anything to validate, is there? So let's not worry about that for now. We'll maybe come back to it in the future, but right now that's not too important. With the JDK though, we'll need to do something. So for example, setting up a button cell would be nice, and a default display name as well would be good to have. So if we could do JDK, JDK is not equal to null, then JDK dot name or that. Sure. We don't need a validator, that doesn't really make any sense. But we should probably have a button cell. If we look at what IntelliJ does, because IntelliJ is obviously the best reference for most things. Where's IntelliJ's? Am I blind? Can you not set JDK? I swear you could set a JDK. Huh. Maybe IntelliJ doesn't support that. Unless I am completely blind. But there's no field for that, right? I know you can do it in Java ones, though. Basically, this is what I was thinking. Oh, interesting. IntelliJ displays the version it picks up, and then on the right, it's displaying what comes up when you type Java-version. Because if you type Java-version on, say, this one, it will say in the console, Java version, this. Or this one would say Eclipse Tamarin. That's interesting. I wonder why they've done that. That's interesting. Huh. Fair enough. I'm not gonna worry about doing that, to be honest. I guess I could maybe put the brand in there somehow. Maybe. But as this says, this is only used if there's no cell factory or button cell, which if we had the JDK, then there would be. Ideally, maybe we'd have a function that would just allow us to set a supplier for the cell graphic. That would be really good. But that's not really possible. I assume translate defaults to false, but I'm actually not sure. I'm gonna have a look, because I'm not sure if it defaults to false or not. It actually defaults to true. Good job I set that then. The only thing is though that this would need to be translated. Okay, in that case, what we can do is let's set up our cells. So let's create a button cell, and we're going to want a new, what is it, a list cell? Yes, a new list cell. And then we can do that, and then we can override update item. Does it just need to be like that? It does, right? Yeah. Item will be the JDK, so let's rename that to JDK. And then let's just set text to be that, and then we can do L1A10.localize that, which will kind of work. The only thing worth mentioning, can we put fields in here? Okay. Condition is always true. Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true, actually. But the JDK will always not be null. And if it's null, the cell basically won't exist. As far as this is concerned anyways. So, for that reason, we can then do set graphic. And I think we can get that from the JDK. So if we do jdk.brand, we can kind of get the graphic. I probably should just extract the functionality for that, which is in detected JDK list pane. And I guess I could use this, couldn't I? Is this used for anything else? No. Okay, in that case, I'm gonna yoink this. And I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm literally just gonna steal that. So I'm gonna do a new JDK cell. Boom. And then the exact same thing for the cell factory, which will be a new JDK cell, like that. This we can just do $, because we don't care about that. At some point we really need to update to Java like 24 so we can do underscores, but not right now. Anything else worth doing whilst we're here? I think not. I don't think we care about any of these. Maybe setting like the key function? Do we need to do that? I think we do, don't we? Okay, let's do the key function. So we can do jdk.name, but that's not ideal. Let's do jdk.path. And then just do string. And then we can do value of function, which will basically I believe, do the opposites. So we need to do JDK path, I think. Yeah, that's a string. So we need to do this, basically. That's not a thing, though. So I don't necessarily know if I want to create that, though. So let's do get available JDKs. .stream.filter, find first or else null. There we go. So that'll just stream through the JDKs it knows about and then filter it by that path and then try and find it. That should work. Okay. To do here, check if it's a valid Gradle project. We can worry about that later on. Not a big deal right now. Check if it's a valid Gradle task. Once again, we can do that later on. Not a big deal right now. And yeah, later on I want some kind of like a Gradle projects type. Not this one. We'll have a custom one, but that's fine for now anyways. Okay, so that is actually that one done. Now, I do need to do the compound one, and this one's going to be kind of complicated because we don't have a component for this. So basically in IntelliJ, when you create a compound configuration, it's basically just a list view, right? So you can just select all of these and you can kind of choose. I thought you could choose the order of them. Can you not? You actually can't. Why not? That's weird. So IntelliJ doesn't let you choose the order of them. Wait, does IntelliJ run them all at once? I'm actually not sure now. Like if I do this, does that run 2 tasks at once? Or does it wait for this one to finish? Let's see what it does. Because obviously this one's going to fail. So let's see what happens afterwards. Nothing. What's the point in that then? Okay. That seems kind of silly. The way I've set up compound run configurations is they happen sequentially. It's just one after the other. It doesn't care about like type or anything. It's just one after the other. I mean, I guess maybe we could set that up so that you choose. I guess that's a reasonable thing to do actually, isn't it? Yeah. So let's create a private boolean. Or we can have an enum, I guess, which would be like run mode. Yeah, so basically choosing like parallel or sequential. I don't think there's anything else. Is Copilot going to come up with any other magical thing? No, that's basically the only options. It would be nice to have a key for these, so a private final string, yeah, localization key, and then yeah, that's fine. Railroad.run config.compound.run mode. Yeah, that's fine. That will suffice. And then we can just create a getter for that. There we go. Okay. And then all we need to do, that one will actually be, well, that one's going to be kind of complicated as well. Unfortunately, we don't have like a form component.radio button group is really what we need. I guess we could create that, maybe. And we'll come back to that one. Now, I'm gonna be honest, rather than... how would this work, actually? Run mode.class. I see, so that runs it basically on an enum. Yeah. And then... let's see. I'm going to be lazy, to be honest, as I usually am. And I'm going to get ChatGPT to create that for me, because I have touched this friggin' form stuff so many times. I don't really want to touch it again. I'm very fed up with that form system, so hopefully it can just do it for me. It basically just needs to copy the other ones, so it should be somewhat trivial. It'll just save me a bunch of time if it can do it first. Can you create this? Let's see. Can you create a button group that allows for switching on an enum? It will be used in compound run configuration data. Okay, let's just make sure we save. Because I found that with IntelliJ, you actually do have to press Control S for it to save it, which is kind of crazy. Like, you can just type a bunch and eventually it will save it, but sometimes it doesn't. So you have to actually press Control S for it to write to the file, which is an interesting thing. I only found that out recently, but it's kind of annoying. Yeah. Damn, I just have a habit to just save it. So do I, to be honest. I'm still kind of in habit from my my Eclipse days of just pressing Control S every so often, just to make sure I save it. But oops, it might not even be able to do this, but I'm gonna try, because if it can, that'd be great. Okay. So it's kind of read everything it needs to. I wasn't sure if it would read compound run configuration data or not, but it has. So it's a good job I did save it, because otherwise it would not even realize it's there, which is a good thing to do. Yeah, it basically should be able to just copy like a mix of like combo box component and checkbox component. Basically, that's all it should have to do in theory. But the only thing to note is that Railroad doesn't currently have any radio buttons anywhere. So if it tries to look for radio buttons, it's not going to come up with anything. So we're going to have to see what happens with that. Okay, so now it's trying to figure out how to localize it. So if it's trying to figure out how to localize it, I assume it's already come up with the actual radio thing. I know JavaFX does just have like a radio... what is it? A radio... yeah, it's just a radio button. And I think you put that into... how does this work? Because you can have multiple, right? Does it say? Ah, yes, a toggle group. Only one radio button can be... yeah. So basically a toggle group is what I'm hoping it puts it into. But we will see. Hopefully it does do that and not just place down one radio button. because obviously that would be completely useless. So hopefully the fact that I've said it's a button group means that it should know to create a toggle group. But we will see. Hopefully it doesn't get sidetracked. Sometimes I find that it likes to get sidetracked and then it comes back and it's gone ahead and changed something else that happened to be broken. We will see. Like what the fuck is it doing right now? Search at extension method? Like, what are you doing, bro? This is the kind of thing that kind of annoys me a little bit. Like, why is it searching for updatable object property? Is that even a class we have? Updatable object. No, it's going to be like that, right? That is actually a thing. What is this? I don't remember writing this. I actually did. You can see I did. I don't remember it. Oh, yeah. This was for... Yeah. This was so you could have multiple listeners, I believe. I don't know why it's looking at this, though. I don't necessarily see how relevant that is, but, like, now, what is it doing? Why is it searching for extension method? Where is that even referenced that it thinks that's a thing? Yeah, that is not a thing in the entirety of this project. Okay. Well, it's done with this part, so this part usually will be pretty quick. And then we'll see what happens. I should probably get rid of that import, otherwise that's going to break things. There we go. Hopefully it just figures it out. I'm really hoping it does. Because that it would save me so much time. Even though this is taking a bunch of time for it to do it. It still saves a bunch of time. It's still reading stuff? Maybe it doesn't know what to do. But I thought this would be pretty trivial. Because it's basically just... I guess it's kind of complicated to map an enum to each of the buttons. And I guess you have to figure out what is the localization key of that enum. Which, like, we know that this has it, but obviously that's not like a generic thing. It'd be good if I had maybe an interface which was like implements localizable, and then that would have like get localization key or something. I don't think ChatGPT is going to do that, but it has come up with something. So form radio button group takes in an enum. Informative box has set value. All looks correct actually. Toggle group. Yeah. Kind of. The only thing I'm seeing it hasn't done is translation. Yeah. So it is translating it, I believe. Yeah, it is, technically. But that's not going to work when we change the language. Really, what it should have done is it should have created a translatable radio button class. So we might have to go and do that ourselves. Okay, it's created the component as well, which looks correct. I mean, it's hard to tell exactly, but I don't see any major issues with that. Don't know why it's searching for the logger, but whatever. Let's go have a look at them, I suppose. So radio button. Okay, so we have radio button group component. Oh, IDE error. Interesting. Okay, maybe let's give it a second. It might... Oh, it's deleted it. That's why. Okay. Why did it do that? That's probably why I got an IDE error, because it deleted it as I was trying to open it. IntelliJ obviously didn't... Not ready for that. Hello, are things going well? Yes, things are... Well, I actually don't know if things are going well, to be honest. Because we're not going to be able to test anything for a while. So, hopefully by the end of the stream, I can tell you if things are going well. But until then, I am not going to know. And, oh yeah, it's going to try and build it, but it can't. I actually don't know why. It's tried to do this every single time I've ever asked it to do anything. It always tries to do a Gradle build, but it just can't ever do it. It always fails. Yeah, it always says it's something to do with line endings. I don't know what that means, because it works fine for me. It'll probably just give up in a second. It'll just say, like, oh, I was unable to test because of something, something, something. Let's see. I guess actually we can look at the code now. So if we go radio, this one. Okay, actually, question, if we look at in here, no, not there, in here. Yeah, the only thing is this needs a .build on it. There. But that has actually, like, it's valid. I mean, the only way really is going to be to test it, right? Like, but I'm curious, how is it translating it? Oh, I have to give it a label provider. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Fair enough. I think that's fine. That's a perfectly reasonable solution for it to have. It says I can also provide it a list of options, which is interesting. I'm curious if that means it hasn't done that by default, maybe. So maybe I have to do run mode.values, but let's have a look and basically see. We go into options, data.options, this.options. It looks as though it's not doing that by default, which is interesting. The other thing, I just need to convert that. Where's that break? I feel like it could probably just do that, right? You could just do this.options is equal enum class. I guess not. Oh no, you can. Yeah. You can get enum constant. Now, I think technically that's reflection to do that, but yeah, it is. It's technically using reflection, but I think that's fine. It's very minor. It's not going to happen constantly. That's fine. Okay. So I'll get rid of that, which just saves me a little bit of time. Now let's see, has Copilot, or not Copilot, it's ChatGPT added reusable radio button group control, so enum backpoints is like compound run modes can live in the shared form toolkit. And there's a H box of radio buttons. A H box of radio buttons? No. Wait, that's not correct. I think it has to be a toggle group. What am I looking for? I'm looking for radio button group component. I don't think a HBox will work. If we look at, what are we looking for? This? No, this, I think. Oh no, it is a toggle group. So why did it say it's a HBox then? HBox container is equal to a new HBox. It needs to be a HBox, I mean. Not one by default. That can be var as well. I mean, it might be working. Maybe? I mean, it's hard to say, really, isn't it? Yeah, so basically it's mapping the enum value to a radio button. That's fine. I think that all looks okay, actually. The more I learn about Java UIs, the more grateful I am I ended up doing web instead. That is a fair comment, to be honest. I mean, I don't know, JavaFX isn't that bad, but I would say web in terms of UI, it is definitely, like, objectively easier to deal with. But, you know, it is what it is. Okay, where am I right now? I am in here. So the thing I wanted to do is I wanted to go into the actual graded run configuration, and I just wanted to hook up the actual never mind, compound run configuration, I mean, because I wanted to hook up the I can't think of what it's called. The run mode. Yes. I wanted to hook up the run mode. So as you can see here, this is sequential. But what we can do is we can say if configuration dot data dot run mode is equal to run mode dot parallel, then we can do this basically. That's what we need to do. So if it's parallel, then we do that. We could probably just have a switch statement, couldn't we? But then I guess we only have 2 values, so does that really make sense? I mean, the question really is, like, do we want to add more values later? The answer is probably not, because what else are we going to have other than, like, parallel and sequential? So it could even just be a boolean, but, like, you're not meant to use booleans for things that, like, could change in the future, in theory. I think for now that's fine. Yeah, I mean, later on, if for some reason we figure out there's a bunch new ones we want, we could obviously just make this a registry. But for now, I think that's fine. That won't cause us any problems. So let's do the exact same thing in here. And then when it comes to stopping, yeah, I mean, I guess that should also follow the same stuff, right? Or I don't know. I think stopping, it should just stop them all at once, right? I think that should be regardless of parallelism or whether it's sequential or whatever. It should just stop them all at once. So That's fine. Okay, so next is jar applications. So this is where things get a little bit complicated, unfortunately. So first of all, let's do that. That is definitely a thing. It's just in that class. So here we would just want to return create basic or the base form builder. And we can add a section. Oh, I think it's actually append section, isn't it? Yes. And we have to do all of these. So luckily, we should be able to just do all of these because we've done them all before, right? So I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna take all of these. You're mine. And hopefully that will work. This needs to be the... I can just do get JRE actually, that'd be fine. That would actually simplify this one a little bit as well. It can just be get Java home, which means that I can then make that a method reference. That's just a little bit simpler. Okay, this needs to be the working... No, this needs to be the jar path. So we'll do the just a jar path. Be the jar path. Will be the... It won't be Gradle, it will be jar application configuration.jar path, and I'm just going to copy that into all of these. Check that it's a valid jar file. Ooh, that's not going to work because this is a directory chooser. We actually don't have a file chooser, funnily enough. That will need to exist though, so once again I'm going to get ChatGPT working on that whilst we're doing the rest of this. So can you create a file chooser component similar to the directory chooser component? I'm going to say file chooser form component, just so it knows that I'm talking about forms and not anything else. So whilst that's doing that, we can go ahead and continue in here. So that'll be fine. Let's just make that not Gradle. Let's make that not Gradle. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. All good. That is the Java... No, that is actually the JRE. Not that it's much different, like it's kind of exactly the same thing, but they're just named different, so thing worth pointing out. So like this also should be JRE. Should be JRE. Right now I'm just using the JDK as a JRE, but eventually we're probably going to want JREs separate. I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but we'll have to figure it out. So where is this? That is there. That's breaking because we need to do form section dot create, and then we just need to pass that in, and then that appends the components like that. And I think that needs a dot build on the end, right? Right? Dot build? Yes. Like that. Okay. Let's see. Has it managed to looks to actually be going pretty well. That'll be done quite quickly, I think. Okay, so Yeah, the only other thing is to check that it's a valid jar file. I mean, that shouldn't be too hard, to be honest. Do we have like a validate? Yeah, I mean, for now that'll be fine. The only other thing worth doing is we have the VM options, but we don't have the program arguments. Those will be exactly the same. So the pilot can figure that one out. Thank you. And then, oh yes, also the working directory. That's going to be a little bit different. That's going to be a directory chooser. But apart from that, that's going to be exactly the same. Let's just validate path. Does this validate that it's a directory or not? If it's not a... Okay, this requires it to be a directory. Interesting. That's probably suboptimal. What we can do is we can rename this to validate directory path. And then... Okay, first of all, let's try and get ChatGPT to finish, which it has actually done. Default path, that really could do with a public builder, which takes in an actual path would be nice. So a path, default path, like that, which just means that I don't have to turn that into a string, which is just a little bit of a nice thing to have. So yeah, that validates a directory path. Let's just copy this and basically do the exact same thing. Now, obviously, copying it isn't ideal, but the reason I'm doing this is because I'm just going to copy it and then I'm going to get ChatGPT to extract it into the common things, which will just save a little bit of time. So like here, for example, if it is a directory, we say that it's a directory, is directory, and then, yeah, we don't care about that. See, this doesn't really need the OneDrive thing. I guess we can always warn if it has OneDrive. That's fine. Yeah. Obviously, when it has OneDrive, that's not ideal. So we can create directories path.getParent rather than the directory itself, which is fine. And then file.delete if exists. Path. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of quick cheating. I'm going to say, can you extract validate directory path and validate file path? Is that what I called it? Yes. Okay. Into a common method that takes in a boolean to determine which type to do. Oh, I should probably say where it is, shouldn't I? Even though it could figure it out, just save me a little bit of tokens. In project validators. Make sure I save this as well. And that should do that. And meanwhile that's doing that, I can just change this to be validate file path. Okay. Let's see. There's no reason it shouldn't be able to do this. This should be an extremely easy task for it to do. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, extremely simple. So if we look at that now, yeah, that's exactly what I expected it to do, to be honest. Just a bunch of if statements. Yep, and then if expect directory, else if it is a directory, yeah, that's fine. The only thing I will do is add this to the lang, because otherwise I will completely forget, and then that will come up at some point and bite me in the butt. So not directory, we need to do is directory. The selected path, what is not a file. Fine. Perfect. That will do. The other thing that it would be nice to have would be to have a file extension check. Which kind of sounds a little bit complex, but I think we could probably do that. So if we do string extension, then we do that. And then if it's not valid, which I think that is a thing, but it's like in here. I can say if status is not equal to, or if it is error, then return result. Okay, if extension is not equal to null and no extension that is blank and text is not in with extension, then it returns error. Okay, and then I'll just also make sure that this is in the lang as well. Is there any others in here that's worth? Like, is there anything I missed that it created? Not directory, is directory. Yeah, that's fine. So it's just that one. So I will just go into here. And then we can do is the... Wait, no, that is not correct. The selected file has an invalid extension. Okay. And then, yeah, that will work. And then what we can do in here is just make this a lambda, so text field. Validate file path, which would then take in the text field and then do jar. And it ends with dot jar. Obviously, it'd be ideal to check if it if it is actually a jar, like, you know, because obviously you could just name it to be dot jar and it not actually be a jar. But there's probably a little bit out of scope. I guess I'll add it to maybe do it to come back and look at it. Confirm that it is actually a jar, and then we'll come back to that. Is this based on VS Code? No, this is not based on VS Code. We are doing this completely from scratch. Yeah, come back to that one. So have we done everything in here? Let's see. So we've got the jar path, we got the environment variables. I mean, they're in the wrong order, so let's just put them in the right order. We got VM options, program arguments, working directory, JRE, and then the last one. Oh no, the JRE is actually the last one. We want it here then. Environment variables, then JRE. Okay, that's that one. Let's just make sure we do this as well. That's not correct. First of all, I need to do the base ones. So apply base form data. And then get. And that will be a path. VM options. Yeah, this isn't right. Before I do that, I should probably do that in the other ones that I haven't done. So I think I did compound. Yes, I did. But I didn't do Gradle, did I? No. Okay, so path, and then that will be string to environment variables. Yeah, that will need to be a thing. Let's do that. Okay. And it will basically be the exact opposite. So it will create a hash map. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Let's make this a map of string. If environment variables equal null or environment variables is blank, then it returns blank map. That's fine. Gets the pairs by splitting on that. For string pair, if pair is blank, continue. And it splits it on equals. Didn't I already do this? I swear I already did this. Oh, because I did is valid environment variable string. I see. Which is similar. I'm going to put this same to do there then. Because they are similar. That is correct. And then we're going to want basically the same thing but for a string array. Okay, let's add a comment for that one. And one for that one. Check these are correct. I think they are. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so that's created those. That's the Java home. Okay, perfect. Okay, and then we can just do the exact same one. Exact same for this, basically. Nice. String to environment variables. What's wrong with that one? This is just that. Fine. Okay, fantastic. So, next thing is the Java one. Now this is going to be pretty identical, to be honest. So let's do return run configuration types dot Java application. That should definitely be named Java application. I don't know why it's not Java application. There we go. Gradle compound jar shell script. Let's rename this one to shell script. There we go. Okay, so create configuration form. Let's just copy the jar, or let's hopefully let Copilot copy the jar. No, that didn't work. Okay, I tried. We can basically just copy this, to be honest. I am hoping, though, if I do this, maybe it just figures it out. No? Damn. Okay. That's annoying, because that means I have to change all of these translation keys. So I'm going to have to do that then. Okay, so that means this needs to be Java application. Okay, so then let's do all of these to Java application. And after this, guys, I'm going to get ChatGPT to add all of these to the translation file, because that is the kind of thing that ChatGPT is very good at doing. So it saves me a ton of time, an absolutely insane amount of time. Default path, this is the main class, actually. Yeah, so I just need to order these in the correct order. So that means putting the JRE at the top and renaming it to the JDK, or yeah, JDK. So JDK, And then the rest are fine. Okay. And then the next one is the main class. Let's do main class. This is not going to be a file chooser. It's just going to be a text field. And hopefully validate Java class name. We will need to do that. Longer to do that. We'll come back to that in a second. We'll do the rest first. Get those out of the way. So next is the working directory. So grab that and put that there. Then we have the build before run. That really should be at the top though. Probably up here with the that one. So let's add in a boolean. Let's do append component and build before run. There you go. Nice. Okay, so that's that one. Then we've got the JDK, the main class working directory. Then we have the class path entries, which is going to be a pain in the butt, I believe. I'm just going to look at what that one actually is. So that is actually this one, I believe. Oh no, that's actually this one, technically. But it's kind of both of them. Yeah. That's going to be a real pain in the butt. Because right now we don't have any way to pick up like the modules like this is doing in IntelliJ. So like later on we'll need to grab the modules. But right now we can't do that. And I don't want to create this UI right now because that's going to be a pain in the butt. So what we can do instead is just make it a string for now. And then come back to that afterwards. So class path entries, that'll be, yeah, like that. That's fine. Then we got VM options. Is that correct? Nope. The next one is actually program arguments. So let's do program arguments, then VM options, then environment variables. Fantastic. And we just need another bracket there. Boom. We have an error. So we need to validate the class name. Now that is a little bit complicated, unfortunately. Yeah. So yeah. The complex thing about this is that we're going to have to resolve it against the working directory. Well, even that's not going to work though, really, is it? Okay, for now we'll just check if it's a valid like Java class name or not. So I think we have a main class thing, right? We already have this somewhere. Or did I remove it? Maybe I removed it. Project validators dots main class text field. Pretty sure that's a thing. A to Z 0 to 9 underscores. Yeah, that doesn't work because this is designed for the actual like name of the class, whereas we need to be able to put in the path of the class. So let's create a similar method, which is going to be validate qualified main class. Yeah, and then basically what that allows for is A to Z. Yeah, so A to Z and underscores at the start, so no numbers, followed by any number of A to Z's numbers underscores, followed by a dot, and it's allowing 0 to more of those, and then it's allowing an A to Z, technically actually an A to Z, and I think you can have underscores as well. Can you have underscores? Is that true? You can. That is a thing. Interesting. So if I rename this to underscore beans, yeah, you can do that. Okay, that's weird. weird thing for Java to allow, but yes, that is technically true. So that means basically the exact same as this. Yeah, so that would be correct. And we can't just say that this is one or more because that has to have a dot. So that's fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this in the US as well. So hopefully we have the main class. Oh, the only problem is that's put it in project creation, which isn't correct. But well, we can come back to those later. Do not project creation specific. So then we can just do validate qualified main class like that. Honk that into a method reference. What are you doing? What are you coding? Right now, Wide, I am coding the run configurations, and more specifically, since you usually ask for something more specifically, we are working on the actual UI for editing the run configurations, and even more specifically, we are working on the one for Java run configurations. And yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Okay, so the next one is shell script as well. Now this one is going to be a real pain in the butt. Like, yeah, it's going to be like the butt is going to hurt after this one. Because this one has a lot of things going on, so we'll try. But yeah, so as you can see, we start off with an execute mode, because for shell scripts you can either choose to run a file or you can choose to run the actual script. It's the same in IntelliJ as well. So when you create one in here, you can do a shell script and you can choose either a script file or a text file. Now, technically with a text file, you don't have the other ones. Ooh. That's going to be a pain in the butt, man. Because forms aren't really designed for that. I mean, they kind of allow you to do that, but ooh, we'll see. Have you tested any of these yet, or are they not testable at the moment? They are not testable yet, but they will be very soon. Once we've done the shell script one, all we need to do is go into the... I'm trying to think, where is it? I have no idea. I can't think what the friggin' class is called. Edit. Ah, that one. This one. We need to come into here. We need to fix this. So we need to like hook this up, basically. And then after that, all I have to do is I have to go into IDE setup. And no, that's not correct, actually. I need to come into here, and I need to hook up the add button. Basically making it so the add button will create a configuration. That's all I need to do. It shouldn't be too hard to do. Right now we're basically working on this. So that's basically the final like major part of the UI. We'll need to do this as well, but that's going to be a whole thing. To be able to just create configurations, we just need to do this and then hook up this. So it shouldn't be too bad, to be honest. We just got to get this one done. And I'm lazy, so I'm going to see if ChatGPT can get this one. Because this one is going to be a pain in the butt. So can you create the... actually, let's get it started at least, and then we can go from there, right? Because otherwise this is going to cause us lots of pain. So we can just do the create configuration form, pass in the project, and then... yeah, this is kind of correct. It's really close, actually, isn't it? runconfig.java application.configuration.section.title. railroad.runconfig.shell.configuration.section.title. It actually kind of did that correct. Yes, this is wrong though. That's why. Because the wrong method was called. So then this one is a form section create, which passes in this like that, and then yeah, we'll go from there basically. And then I'll just do .build like that, and like that. And then, yeah, we'll just do append components. And then basically I'm going to leave it to ChatGPT to figure out the rest. So we'll make sure we save this and just spamming Control S just to make sure. And then we will say, can you create the rest of the form for shell script run configuration data? You can look at the other run configuration data classes for examples of how to create it and the form component code themselves. I'll leave it with that for now. We might have to do the visibility stuff ourselves. I suspect it's not gonna be able to do that on its own, but I just want it to at least create all the stuff first, and then we can figure out the visibility afterwards. I don't think it should be too hard, to be honest. So let's see what it does. Should be able to do most of it. Make sure you stay hydrated, guys. Especially while ChatGPT does its thing. Since we're going to be sat here for a hot minute. Oh, it is actually trying to add dynamic show behavior. Damn. I didn't think it would do that. I'm actually quite impressed. I need to take this off now. And before someone asks, no, I am not Irish. This shirt is just from Ireland. I'm not Irish. Just before someone asks, because I know someone's going to ask, but I didn't point that out. What's the most exciting thing you've done this day? I don't know. Not much. All I've done today, to be honest, is work on this. And I've also played a bit of Siege, but like apart from that, I haven't really done anything today. To be honest, I didn't even get much of this done today. I did most of that last night. But yeah, I guess all I've done today really is, well, I mean, actually, to be fair, I've created basically all of the run configuration data today. I did all the rest of the stuff yesterday, but the data itself is what I've done mostly today. Okay, how is this coming along? It's done stuff? Oh, no, it hasn't. Never mind. That was the last one. Okay, now it's done stuff. What's it done? Okay. Text mode visible. Uninstall create. Yes, that's correct. Okay. I'm actually quite impressed. It seems to actually be doing things. I don't know if it's going to figure out that, like, this is not possible. But, we'll see. Yeah, so it thinks that's possible for some reason. Not sure why it thinks that's possible, but, yeah, and also, okay. We'll have to fix those ourselves. Sometimes it does this, it just doesn't really think about it. I could tell it to fix it, I could just be like, hey, this doesn't work, but I don't want to use up all my tokens, so I'm just going to fix it myself. It's trivial enough to fix anyways. Just removing those if statements, and then basically removing that. Didn't it add other ones? Where did it add the other ones? Where are these? Now sort of run configuration data. But it hasn't done that though. Oh no, it has done that. Wait. Oh, text area doesn't have that. In text area, you can't do that. Oh. I mean, that probably should be a thing. Let's make that a thing. Let's set it to make that a thing. Text area doesn't have the ability to set a text supplier. Can you make it so it does have that ability similar to text fields and combo boxes? Hopefully it should be able to do that. Hopefully it's going to look at text field component first before trying to figure it out. If it tries to figure it out, it's probably going to get it wrong. So hopefully it looks at text fields first. I don't know about that. I don't think that looks right. It might be correct, but I'm not convinced. If we look at this, first of all, these need to be X. I thought I fixed all of these, but apparently I didn't. I mean, it seems to have worked. Go into data, text supplier. The only thing I'm not sure about is really where it's used. because I thought it needed to happen in here. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. At least not for this, but it is just something worth pointing out. Have you done that so that it works in the exact same way text fields do it? I'll ask it and then it should go and have a look. I don't think that's correct. I think it's wrong. I'm going to ask it, can you read the text field component and check? I don't think what you did is right. Let's see. See what it does. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's found that it was wrong. That's why it's taken a little while. Because I don't remember in the text field ever having like an initial, what did it say, initial text? Yeah, like that's only in the text area. That's not a normal thing. So yeah, this is what I was expecting. That's what it needed to do anyways. It needed to add it in the super. So that might actually work. Has that got rid of the initial text stuff? Because ideally that needs to go. If we have a look now, initial text. Yeah, that's no longer used, so hopefully it will get rid of it. Yes, it has. Nice. The only thing is that doesn't have any Java docs. Is it going to add those, or do I have to do that myself? Just give it a second to think about it. Maybe it will decide that it needs to be a thing. Nope, it hasn't. I have to do that myself then. There you go. Okay, so hopefully this is correct. Let's see what ones it thinks should depend on text mode. So if we look at text mode visible, it thinks the text is that it? Okay, it thinks that's it. That's not correct. I don't think. Or is it? Wait, I need to have a look now, because I'm not sure. So, if we look for execute. So, script descriptor. Create script from text. Okay. That returns a script descriptor. I don't remember how this one worked. Script descriptor, and then is temporary, put configuration script path. No, I think that'll work. right? Command is equal that. Yeah, so what it basically does is it puts the other one, so the one that's not a existing file, it will go ahead and put that into a file, basically, into a temporary file. Yeah, okay. I forgot it does that. So that should all work, in theory. If we go ahead and build the project now, we should see the errors lie elsewhere. So let's have a look. Okay, so apparently there's an error in compound run configuration. Add all in class collections cannot be applied to type. I think that's fine. I don't know why you're yapping, to be honest. Right? I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Let's ignore that for now. Okay, so the only other errors then are in here and in here. So let's go in here first. And we need to create the details pane. So this is basically what's going to use the form that we have just created. So we need to go ahead and create this. So I'm going to go into UI, new class, boom. I don't remember exactly what this is. I'm going to open the UI. Because what I did is I went into Scene Builder to actually... oh, I'm sorry. It's... I don't think it has dark mode. Does it? Preferences. Oh, it does have dark theme. It's not really that dark, I'll be honest, but I guess it's a little bit better. It's actually not that much better, because this isn't dark. But yeah, I created just basically this is what it's gonna look like, kind of thing. So basically what we're creating now is this VBox. Yeah, this one. So basically this one on the right here, which is inside the split pane. So that means that the details pane needs to be a VBox. Okay. Now, the other thing, I'm just going to go into the actual fxml file because I set up some like padding and stuff. I need to make sure that those are correctly live. So if we have a look in here, we can see this is the VBox. So it's got a spacing of 5. So let's create a spacing of 5. Okay, then inside of that, we have the form, basically. Yeah, so the only thing is that this actually does need the actual configuration. And basically it's going to have to get that from the tree view because that will be where the selected configuration is. So what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to create a public void select configuration. You can pass in a run configuration config, and then this will basically have to go ahead and select it. So the best way to do that is to create this tree view as a field. We do .field. Can I not do that? Tree view pane .field. Like that. Okay. Yeah, that should be fine. So now that is a field. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. And then we should just be able to do select configuration in here. And I'm going to set that to actually be a thing. So if config is equal non-clear selection, then we're going to find tree item for configuration. That also needs to be a method. And I'm kind of just relying on Copilot to get this correct, to be honest, because I'm lazy. So I guess let's just check what it's done. We'll kind of go from there. So for child in nodes, if node is not a group and node.configuration, yeah, so this, the only thing to note is that this needs to be objects.equals, because otherwise that's not going to work, right? And then return child, and then found is equal find. So yeah, that basically just goes recursive into each of the children, returns it if it finds it. Okay, so what does this do? So if the config is null, then it clears the selection. Worth pointing out then that this is nullable, and this is not null, and this is nullable, and then this is, I think, not null, right? I guess it's technically null, right? Like, but if it is null, then we can just return null, because that's not going to do anything. So yeah, that's fine. So if it's null, it clears the selection. Then it gets the selected item. If it's not null, if the selected item is not null, then it selects it, else it clears the selection. Pretty simple, to be honest. So that's fine. So then we can just have that select configuration whenever we need to do that. And then, yeah, so basically what that would then need to do is I will need to have some kind of like listener. So this.tree view pane. See, I could do set details pane like that. Maybe. Yeah, let's do it like that. So then what we can have is we can have a private final object property of run configuration details pane, which would be the details pane property, which is going to be equal to a new simple object property like that. And then basically what that method will do is it will just set it like that. And then all I have to do in here is I have to add a listener to the tree. So I have to do something like tree view get selection model, selected item property, add listener, details pane, set run configuration null, set run configuration new item get ready configuration. Yeah, so if we go into here, we can have a run configuration. So private run configuration. This can be a object property actually, so a private final object property of a run configuration equal to a new simple object property. Okay, like that. And then we can just set that. And then basically we need to go ahead and create that in here, right? So if we go back into the fxml, let me just have a look at what we have. So we need to set the padding to a new insets, which is just 10 on all sides. And I think that's the only other thing worth noting about it. It doesn't have like an alignment or anything. Now it does have, oh no it doesn't. Yeah, so that it doesn't really have anything else to it. So all we need to do, have you fully tested the parser yet? No, I have not. Because we fully tested it, right? But now we need to rewrite it so that we can use it for the semantic analysis. Which means we need to do that whole like green red tree stuff. We'll come back to that at some point. We're just gonna work on run configurations for a while. So yeah, we're gonna have to do a bunch of rewriting there. It shouldn't be too bad. I mean, to be honest, I'm probably gonna cheat and I'm gonna get ChatGPT to do it for me. Since it is just basically gonna be find replacing all of the return new XYZ will be changed to return node factory dot create node or whatever we call it, right? So I'm not doing that by hand, quite frankly. But we will have to do like white space. That shouldn't be too bad because currently we just discard white space tokens. But what we can do instead is when we find a white space token, we consume it and then just put it in the tree instead. So that shouldn't be too bad. The only kind of complexity will then be things like syntax. So things like open parentheses will need to be a token in the tree. Currently we just kind of ignore them somewhat. So all of the open parentheses, close parentheses, open speech marks, close speech marks, open quotes, all of them, semicolons, lambdas, the whole lot, will need to become actual tokens inside the tree. But it shouldn't be too bad, to be honest, because once again we already consume them, we just don't do anything with them. So overall it shouldn't be too bad. It'll probably take like a couple hours, but once we've done that, then I think we can probably move on to semantic analysis, which will be quite exciting, I believe. So that'll be good. But for now, we're taking a little bit of a break from that, and we're going to do run configurations. Hopefully we'll get that done today. Now, what do we need to do after this? So we need to have the form, right? So yeah. Basically what I'm thinking is we just have a object property for the form, like a private final object property of form of the form property. And then basically what this will do, so this will be this dot form property dot set to configuration dot get data dot create configuration form. And we're going to need the project in here as well, so let's have a private final project. I guess this can be an object property as well, it doesn't really matter, but just have it be one. And then we can just pass that in here, so project, and just do just a project like that. Yes, we can actually do that down here. And then that would just take in this dot project dot get. And I mean, this could probably be read only. I guess it doesn't really matter though. Let's create a couple getters. So run config form for those properties like that. And then that's form property.set. Okay, so we just need to make that now take in the project in here, which it actually currently doesn't do, apparently, which is interesting. I thought it did, but it does need to. So project like that. Okay. And then, yeah, we just need to make sure this is actually used, right? Now, we're not done, though, because what we do need to do... I think this is all fine now, so I think we can... I think we can close that. So what we do need to do is actually make this UI component added. So best way to do that is probably something like form property dot add listener get children dot clear. If new form is not equal to null, then it adds new form. But it will be new form dot create UI, basically, like that. Okay, so that would create that pane, and then that brings us back to here. So we can do add button now. Or actually, we'll leave that for a second because that's going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt. Let's do this first. So let's go ahead and do... that wants to disable the run button. Maybe we'll come back to that. So we want to create this as a new window, right? So we can use our lovely window manager. No, it is window builder. So window builder.create, and then we can do dot. We can do the parent window, so we can say where is it? Owner is what I'm looking for. Oh, it's literally right there. I'm blind. Window. So this will be railroad.windowmanager.getPrimary stage. I want to check there's nothing. Okay. I think we need to do register child window. Unless this does that. Oh, no. It does it in here. Okay, that's good. Thank you. That's good. Okay. So that will set the owner. Then we need to set the title. I thought title key was a thing, but apparently it's not. Yeah, so we just need to translate true. I assume by default it's not true, right? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So then I just make sure it translates it. IDE.toolbar.edit run configurations. Let's do railroad dot window. I want to look in the lang for what we have for the windows. Yeah, it's railroad.window. That's what I thought it was, but I wasn't 100% sure. That's the title. Then we have the... Yeah, so a couple things. We probably want the min size. Let's just do 600, 400 for now. To do more dynamic sizing. Then we can do the scene. That's going to be a new scene, which will take in that. Then we need anything else. Icon will be default. Should mark owner window. I don't know if we need to set that to true or not. No, by default that is true. Okay. Wasn't sure if it was, but it is, so that's good. Yeah, and the rest are fine, to be honest. I don't think we need to do anything else with those, so we can then just do .build, which I think automatically shows it, right? Yes, it does. Okay. Fantastic. So in theory, that should create the window, right? More actions button. So that's when the item is null. And then here is, yeah, also when the item is null. That's fine. Let's do private static void show edit run configurations window, and then we can pass in a run configuration, and then this can be nullable, this can be not null. Basically then what we can do is, if run configuration is not equal to null, we do editor pane like that. Then what we can say is basically editor pane.select run configuration. Oh, the only problem is this will call show and wait, won't it? Yeah, that's the only problem. So what we can do for that is we can use on init like that. I think that will work. Let's just check what this actually does. So if we look at on init, yeah, so that should work, because that happens before it calls show and wait, so it won't be blocked or anything like that. So that should work. If we now do this, then we can do show edit run configuration window project and null, and then basically the exact same thing here, like that. And once again, we probably want to try and select 0, I imagine. Oh no, we don't. Hello Starbro123, welcome to the stream. Okay, so the only next thing we need to do is we need to make sure those buttons to actually yeah, basically to go ahead and actually create a new configuration. Wait, no, because this is only for editing configurations. But that's fine, actually, isn't it? Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to make sure the add button works. Okay, I think what we'll do, let's build the project and see if we have any errors. Okay, it doesn't like this. Selections, not add all. Stock configuration, form data, get radar class. Why doesn't it like that? Stock configurations is a list. Oh, is it because this isn't like one of these? Probably, isn't it? Okay, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT, because I'm not sure, to be honest. Because IntelliJ isn't telling me something's wrong, so it's obviously, I guess, a runtime error. Does that work? Huh, it does work. Interesting. That's nice. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Should we see if that works? So if we build first, we'll be able to see. I think it will. Yes, it did. Okay, good. So, I think we're almost done, chat. I think we're almost done. At least we're getting something that we're looking for. We are almost done. So okay. What do we have left to do? Because if we run it now, is it gonna work? Oh, yes, I know what I wanted to do. Okay, I wanted to ask ChatGPT to add the translations. So can you ensure all of the translations relating to run configurations are added to the en_us.lang? Let's see. I reckon it's going to miss some, but we'll see. What is it looking for? Okay, I see what it's doing. Okay, so it's basically writing code to filter out the ones that match and the ones that don't match. So it's writing a Python script to do that. It's quite smart, it is, I must say. Like, I guess if I was really lazy, I would do that too, but I don't know. To be honest, I think I would just go one by one. This actually looks correct. It actually looks correct. Has it missed any? What is this? Okay, I don't know what that is. Railroad.runconfig.compound.runmode. Parallel sequential. Oh, basically saying if there's no... Wait, but what? Doesn't make sense. I don't know why it's done that. Okay, the only thing to note, and these are the things that I think it's missed, is... I guess not really. Because, like, these buttons should have tooltips, but it doesn't have those tooltips in the code, so it actually hasn't technically missed them, they just don't exist. Yeah. I'm gonna make it try and fill out this this run combo box actually, because that is actually the only thing we haven't actually like done yet. So can you finish off the run combo box in run configuration enter? Because I hate dealing with combo boxes. They're kind of just a pain. You have to set so many different friggin' things. So if it can do it for me, that'd be great. But let's say it should be able to. There's no reason why it wouldn't. Yeah, because you've got to do the key function, then it's got to do the value function. It's going to have to do all the cells as well, probably. And then... I mean, that's kind of it. I guess there isn't a huge amount for it to do. So. Yeah, so what's it done? Okay. That looks correct. Is it going to add those to the lang file as well? Let's see what it does. Oh, it's looking for like trying to actually run the configuration when you select the specific one. I see. I see what it's trying to do. I'm not sure it quite understands what the combo box is for, actually. Yeah. It actually... Oh, wait, no. Wait. No, I don't think it does understand what the combo box is for. Because this combo box here, I think what it thinks is that it's this one, but it's not this one. The combo box is actually this one. So I think it's actually done it wrong, funny enough. Okay, in that case, I don't want it to go any further. I don't want it to start editing other files, because that's wrong. Still find it crazy that so much software dev has become ciphering what the LLM does. I almost missed spending twice as long making... Yeah, so do I, to be honest. I missed that as well. But it's like, when you have this, it's like... It's kind of crazy to not use it, you know? I don't know. It's weird. Because I wish they didn't exist. Like, I wish AI didn't exist. But at the same time, like, I'm not gonna not use it even though it does exist. If you get what I mean? Like, it's a weird thing. But, I don't know. I guess it just means people can be lazy. Which is great for me, because I am always lazy. But when it can kind of save me a little bit of time, I'll take that as a win. But yeah, this isn't correct. That combo box isn't for the run configurations. It's for whether you want to run or debug the current configuration. Currently selected configuration. It puts productivity through the roof, but damn it, I want to spend all day banging my head on the wall. I don't know that it does increase productivity, though. That's the thing. You see, the problem that I find with AI is I think it feels more productive. But I often find that I, one, spend so much time waiting for it to actually do the thing. And two, I'm trying to fix all the issues that it's creating doing that thing. And then three, I find that, like, you're not... Like, it's hard to stay on track with what's happening. Because it just creates so many different things in so many different places that it's hard to keep track. Whereas if you're writing it yourself, you're in a train of thought, right? So you're able to just, like, boom, 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 boom. Whereas with AI, you can't do that, right? Because it's doing that train of thought. So in a way, it kind of feels less productive. I don't know. I think I just use it when I'm lazy. Like I try to do as much as I can without it, though. I will say I'm lazier on streams with it. Like I use it I use it a lot more on streams, to be clear. So like the majority of this, you know, actually, now that I think of it, I haven't used AI for any of the run configuration stuff except what I've done on stream today. Apart from Copilot, right? I mean, Copilot's right. It saved me a bunch of time, but I definitely use it a lot more on streams just because I want to kind of get things done. And it would take me a lot longer. It'd take me a lot longer otherwise. I guess it depends how you use it. I find that using, like, explain how to do X, Y instead of implement. Yeah, I use it for that sometimes, to be fair. It is helpful to do that, for sure. I did that for the Java application run, because I wasn't sure. Like, I knew when you run a Java application it has to build it, but I wasn't sure, like, how do you build it, right? Because that's, like, kind of a complex thing. So I kind of asked it, like, how do I do this? Like, don't implement it, but how do I do it? And it was actually very helpful. It just basically told me that if you're using Gradle, it needs to be Gradle build. If you're using Maven, it needs to be the Maven build. If you're not using either, then, well, fuck you, I guess. You have to manually compile each of the classes, which I haven't implemented yet. I haven't implemented the Maven one either, but, like, that's not too important. Actually, now that I think I did use AI for something here. I don't remember what it was for. Oh, this, yes. I used it for this, to be fair. Because I couldn't be bothered to write this. And it's just a temporary thing that's going to get nuked in the future. So, I did use it for that. But 99% of things, I try to avoid it. Because I like to keep a train of thought. And I cannot do that with AI. So, yeah. Anyways, once again, I've now lost a train of thought, and I have no idea where I was. Where was I? Anyone remember? Was I here? Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, it's completed. Okay. Yeah, what's it done? Let's have a look. So... Run configuration tree view pane, run selected configuration, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's fine. And then a combat box of run action, so it's created an enum. Okay. That's fine, because later on we're going to have, like, code coverage and stuff. I don't know how the hell we're going to do that. I honestly haven't even looked into like code coverage. I barely even know anything about it, so don't know how that's going to go down, but yeah, that's fine for now, I guess. And then yeah, and then select configuration properties. So yeah, when that changes, it disables if there's okay, yeah. And then if new value is null, then it selects run. Is that correct? Don't know that's correct. And then when it's selected, it gets it. If it's not supported, it returns. Else it does action.execute. What the fuck is action.execute? Oh, it's a thing in run action. I see. That's smart. See, it is so smart sometimes, because I wouldn't have thought to do that. I knew I would have to figure out, like, is it supported or not, but I didn't know exactly how I was going to define that for this circumstance. But that makes sense. Putting it in the enum as like as an abstract method you need to override is actually insanely smart. Yeah, man, sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes it does actually have some major big brain moves, I will say. I'm gonna make sure that it hasn't put anything else into that laugh. No, it hasn't. Okay, are we done? Are we ready to test? I'm trying to think, what have I missed? Have I missed anything, chat? Yeah, these aren't used yet. Moreover, we actually just don't have a component for that. Oh god, hiccups, man. We actually just don't have a component for the compound one yet, but that's fine. We can come back to that later. Let's run it. Fuck it, man. Let's try. Let's see what happens. So the only thing that is worth mentioning is we're not going to be able to create a configuration because we haven't hooked up that run button, the add button yet. Wait, no, we have. Wait, did we? No, we didn't. But we should be able to open the edit UI at least. Oh, it didn't like that. No such file exception. I thought Tutorial path. Oh, tutorial path requires it to exist? Why? Wait, what? Why? Why is that a thing? Read bytes. Read bytes. Read string. Oh, tutorial path requires it to exist. Huh. Why? That's kind of silly, isn't it? Throws IO exception if the file does not exist or an IO error occurs. Huh. Okay. Okay. Okay, if files not exist, data directory, then create it. Let's make this an illegal state exception. And then if it's just done the exact same friggin' thing again. The exact same thing. File don't exist. Oh, I see. Well, no, I don't know why I did that, but yeah, that wouldn't work because it then needs to be the resolved thing. So if files does not exist resolved, oh, I see. Can I not just do that then? I can just do that, can't I? And then I don't have to do that. Right? Because data directory... Yeah. One thing I will do, actually, is just path data directory. But just because that does a little bit of logic in it. Oh, actually, that automatically creates that. But... Oops, didn't mean to close that. This is actually kind of unrelated. I probably should have tested this. But yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's just a minor fix. Yeah, I probably should have thought about that because it is true that, like, if it... Yeah, I didn't know toRealPath required it to exist. That's kind of silly. I kind of get it, but it's kind of silly at the same time. But anyways. Okay, so we're going to open... Okay, it hasn't liked something. Okay. So close, but so far. Okay, so... What has it done? What is this button? Okay, this is the edit run configurations window, of which seems to have frozen the IDE. Why? How and why has it managed to do that? Can't lie, I have no idea why it's done that. Oh, it's like full on crashed it, huh? If I close it, it might crash itself and throw an error at like where it got to. Nope. So what is this? Run configurations underscore tooltip? Where is that? I don't do underscore tooltip. I do dot tooltip. There. Run configurations. Yeah, this isn't correct. Dot tooltip. Okay, I need to just find underscore tooltip and replace with dot tooltip. Place. Okay, and then I just need to add all of these into the lang file. I'm not sure how that happened. So let's find run wait, no, it's toolbar. That doesn't exist? IDE dot railroad dot IDE. Oh, those should probably exist. Okay, I'm also curious. Okay, I have a lot of questions. My first question is why have these buttons not done what I wanted them to do? So these buttons, oh, because I haven't actually done that. I see. So these buttons should be square. They should be small. Button size dot small. And they should be the variant of Ghost as well. So I'm just going to copy these. Okay. And the stop button. And also the more actions button as well. I should also do the tooltip for that one, shouldn't I? Okay. Have I missed any? Yeah, that's fine. So I just need to now make sure that these are all correct. Boom, boom, boom. And then, oops. Like that. Okay. Also, the stop button isn't going to work, but we can worry about that later on. Okay, let's at least try and get those buttons to show up correctly, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so they are now gone. Why? Why? New font icon, font on awesome solid dot play. But they are there, right? Yes, they are there. Huh. I'm a little bit confused. I've never had that happen before. Usually, you just give it a font icon and it just works. Like, there isn't anything else you have to do. I mean, I'm trying to think, like, why wouldn't that work? Let me try something. Let's open Scenic View. And see if we can inspect the buttons, see what it is. Like, is the icon actually there? Or like, what the hell is happening? You know? So if we go into the this, so that's the menu bar, and then this is the H box. So these are the buttons. Huh, the only thing inside of it is the text. How is that possible? Set square, true. Set button size, small. Maybe that's the issue. I don't think so. Set variant, ghost. Run button. Run button, run button. Where are you added, run button? Added to the run section, which is a H box. So let me just have a look. That is inside of a H box. But none of these have a graphic for some reason, which is really weird. I have a tooltip. Maybe it's because they're... No, because they didn't work when they weren't Ghost, did they? I'm wondering if it's toolbar button, maybe. Let me try and comment that out and just see if that works. Like, maybe this style is already used for something. Maybe. Oh, interesting. What is this? Oh, I think that's just that's scenic view. That's fine. Don't care about that. Nope. That is not the issue. Has that actually broke scenic view or not? Oh, look. But it does have the font icon now. Do they all have the font? Okay, they all magically have the font icon now. What the frig is happening? So are you visible? Visible true? What size are you? 12 by 12, basically. Awesome, pretty solid. Text origin. Baseline. That all looks fine, though. Graphic is a font icon. Yeah. They all have all of the CSS. Huh. I'm a little bit confused, to be honest, chat. Should we ask ChatGPT? Because I'm very confused. It might be able to figure something out, so I think we'll give it a go. For some reason, the font icons for the more actions button, add button, no, not add button, run button, debug button, stop button. Oops, wrong window. Wrong window. Oh my god, I keep opening the wrong window. Run button, debug button, and stop button are invisible. Can you help me figure out why? Let's see. Oh, it's gonna have to try and find them first. It doesn't know where they are. I probably should have stated that it's in the IDE setup, because otherwise it's not gonna find them. Oh, it has figured out they have the style class toolbar button though. Which is good. Oh, I should probably also stop it, because otherwise it's gonna be a bunch of errors with like Gradle caches and stuff. Okay, let's see what it says. It could possibly be like the size of the button. Maybe? No, because it didn't work when they were normal size either, did it? So I'm a little bit confused. Because, like, if we look here at these font icons, right? These are the ones in the menu bar. And these ones do work. And they're exactly the same. They're used in exactly the same way. I don't know why these ones wouldn't work. I think it's just as clueless as I am. Okay, this might take a while, to be honest, guys. I don't really know what to do in the meantime, because we can't really do anything. Maybe we can try and figure out why it's freezing when we open the editor pane. I guess let's have a look at that and see if we can figure anything out. So let's have a look. So we create the top button bar. These are just a bunch of buttons. These should all be fine. And then we create a split pane. So we create the tree view. It could be that. I mean, I doubt it. Let me just have a quick skim through and just have a look. Like, if we look at maybe rebuild tree, what does that do? That builds the tree items, but this shouldn't cause any problems. And I guess it could, but I don't think it will. Oh. Oh. That's true. Yeah. They don't need to be a new font icon. That's not necessary. They just need to be the actual icon directly. That's true. God, it's so smart sometimes. Pisses me off. Why is it so smart? Okay. And that means I also need to fix that in... I can't even think. Where do I need to fix that? Not in here. In here? Those ones already do that, so it's not those. Well, yes, these ones, I guess, but that's not the ones I was thinking of. Wait, so did it fix the ones in here or not? Yeah, it did. Okay. Let's see if that actually fixed it or not. It may have. I think it probably has. But we can have a look. Yes, it has. Okay, so we have the run button, the bug button, and then we have this. This is crashing, though. Once again, I think I'm going to ask ChatGPT. Next issue is that when I open the edit run configuration window, it freezes and stops responding. I don't really know what else to say, to be honest. None of the UI appears to get created. And I'm saying that because if I look at in the log down here, the only thing that's logged is that it's trying to translate the window title, and that's it. There's nothing logged after that. Whereas it should log the... Oh. I must have turned off debug logging. Wait, no, I haven't turned off debug logging. Why is it not logging translations anymore? Am I crazy? Okay, whatever. I think it's not yet, but it's not creating the UI. We can see it's not creating the UI, so I'm perfectly fine to say that. I assume it's going to be the tree. Like, it's probably getting stuck in some infinite loop somewhere where it's like, I don't really know where it would be getting stuck, but it must be getting stuck somewhere. Yeah, it also thinks it's the tree view, funnily enough. I have to agree. I have to assume that's the only logical conclusion of where it could be getting stuck. Let's see what it reckons. Yeah, I mean, it must be, right? It must be recursive. And it must just be... But then... usually that would cause like a Stack Overflow exception, though. Or a, the other one. I don't remember what the other one's called. Can't think. So I guess it can't be, like, truly recursive. Search services in... What? Services? I don't think there's any services in here. Hmm. Read project.java. Oh, I see. It's trying to see... Oh, I see. Okay. It's trying to see if it can read the... Oh, it could be that. I don't think it's that. But yeah, it's trying to see if it can find the part that reads the files. I don't think it would be that, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure. We're gonna have to end the stream soon, guys, so hopefully it can figure it out before. I mean, it should do. Shouldn't take that long for it to figure. Oh, it is doing this. Wait, this isn't correct. Why am I doing this? Is there a reason I'm doing this? I don't know. But that's not necessary. And that won't cause the issue, but that's not necessary. That's meant to just be L18n dot localize, but what does it change? Details pane. Add that. Preview set details pane. Select configuration get for why? Why has it done that? That is not correct. Okay, what is it actually changing? I don't know what it's doing, guys. Will there be a stream tomorrow? Yes, there will be a stream tomorrow as well. Okay. I mean, it seems to think it's fixed it, so I guess let's have a look. I probably should fix this though. No, it's L1 8n.localize. Don't know why that wasn't like that. But that wasn't the issue anyways. But just worth noting. Yeah, that hasn't fixed anything. What did it reckon it was? The pane never populated its tree data, so the placeholder label stayed on top and you couldn't interact with anything. It looked like a dead... No, that's not right. It is literally dead. Oops, I misspelled actual. Good job AI can ignore my my misspellings or mistypes and stuff. I don't know what could be causing it, I'm beyond. Like, if we look at this, go edit run configurations window. Maybe it's because it calls show and wait rather than... Maybe? Could it be that? I mean, we could try and not do that and just like see what happens if ChatGPT can't figure it out. Yeah, I'm gonna try that actually, real quick, because we should be able to try this before it figures it out. So, if I just do this, after it's compiled, I'm then gonna remove that and save it, just so it doesn't come back and see that's there. Okay. So if we now go into the IDE again, and we go like that. Okay, that wasn't the issue. That's good to know. I didn't think it would be. That wouldn't have really made any sense, but that is just worth checking that that wasn't causing it. It thinks it might be like... Yeah, that's kind of the only thing I'm thinking it could be, is when it's calling project.get_run configurations. But I don't think that should be the case, realistically. Like, it selects a run configuration there, but that's not... That's fine, right? If we look at more actions, right? It gets the value. Run configuration of combo box.get value. The item should be null, but will show a null window, right? Which is going to create the editor pane. Which will go into here. It'll create this. All of these. I mean, this should all be fine. The only thing is this, right? So this calls then project.get_run configurations. I mean, it certainly could be that, right? Because that does this. So this tries to read the JSON. What we could do maybe is plonk a breakpoint there. And then try and see what happens, right? And that will tell us if that's what's causing it or not. So we'll see. Okay, so I open the IDE and then I'm going to go... Okay. So... configurations. If you look at configurations, it has the size of it. So it instantly does get those configurations. I thought it would. I didn't think that would be the issue. And then if it's not empty, it tries to select the first one, but we know that it is empty, right? So does that. Could it be this? Disable true. Okay. Okay. So it's able to create all of the UI. Okay. Is run configuration? No. Yes, it is. No. Okay. So, okay, so that's now created the window. So I can now see the window on my other monitor. You guys can't see it because it's on my my main monitor. But I'm gonna step over. Okay, so that returns. Blah, 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 whatever. Okay, but it is completely frozen right now. So if I press pause, we should be able to see where we are. Not anywhere exciting. Let's try again. I guess the chances are we're not going to get anywhere exciting, are we? What is it even looping over right now? Lip pains, apparently. Are we anywhere exciting right now? Oops, I didn't mean to step into... I stepped into a bunch of stuff now. It's pretty nested deep in layout children. I know you guys can't see it because my camera's covering. Oops, done it again. But there's nothing exciting. I'm just pressing pause and play. I don't think you guys can even see that. But yeah, nothing exciting. What is this said? Okay, so if we have a look, it has said identify why the edit window was freezing. We are calling project.get run configurations directly on the Java FX application thread inside the constructor. You can just select this. I strongly don't think that's correct. Like, I am pretty certain that's not correct. But let's give it a try. You never know. Let's see. And then if it doesn't work, unfortunately, I will have to end the stream here. And we'll have to pick up on this tomorrow. So we'll have a look. I'm going to try again. Okay, so it has now hit that breakpoint. So let's just press play and see what happens. Nope, it's frozen again. Look, not responding. I didn't think it was that. So I'm going to undo. I mean, I guess that's fine. I guess I don't need to undo that. Yeah, like that. I get that's not really an issue. Let's turn that back to get first. That's fine. And then, yeah, I think we're just gonna have to end it here, guys. To be honest, because I don't know, and we don't have time to try and figure it out. So, yeah. We'll try tomorrow. Obviously before the next stream, I'm gonna be trying to figure it out. So hopefully I figure it out before the next stream. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here. So I hope you all enjoyed, and yeah, I will see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.